The woman on the ceiling. I didn't think much about the noises at first. Houses creak, especially old ones like mine. But last night I realized it wasn't the house. I woke up, paralyzed, staring at the ceiling. My body was locked in place, my limbs refusing to obey no matter how hard I tried. My chest felt heavy, as though something unseen was pressing me into the mattress. I tried to scream, but my throat was frozen, and that's when I heard it. A faint scraping sound, slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across wood. It came from above me. I forced my eyes upward, and my heart stopped. There she was. A woman, if you could even call her that, clung to the ceiling. Her heel hung down in long, stringy clumps, swinging slightly as she moved. Her limbs were wrong, too thin, too long, bending at unnatural angles to grip the ceiling like a spider. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, veins mapping her body like cracks in porcelain. She twisted her head toward me. Her face. I'll never forget her face. Her eyes were wide and glassy, pupils like tiny pinpricks, surrounded by bloodshot whites. Her mouth stretched unnaturally, lips cracked and peeling, revealing rows of jagged, blackened teeth. She grinned. I tried to close my eyes, but I couldn't. I was forced to watch as she began to crawl, her body contorting grotesquely, her joints cracking with each movement. She skittered across the ceiling, her head always turned toward me, that horrible grin never faltering. The scraping grew louder as she descended the wall, her twisted fingers digging into the plaster, leaving deep gouges behind. She reached the floor and paused, crouching at the foot of my bed like a predator sizing up its prey. She tilted her head, her neck snapping to an impossible angle. "You're awake," she rasped, her voice barely a whisper, but it cut through the silence like a blade. I wanted to scream, to cry, to do anything, but my body betrayed me. She crawled onto the bed, her weight shifting the mattress. Her face was inches from mine now, her breath reeking of rot. "You shouldn't be awake," she hissed, her grin widening until it seemed her face would split in two. And then she was gone. I jolted upright, gasping for air. My room was silent again, but the gouges in the wall, they were still there. Here's the second story, the man in the corner. It started last week, though I can't say for sure when. Sleep has been elusive lately, and the nights feel heavier than they should. But last night was different. Last night, I met him. I woke up with a jolt, my body frozen, my chest pinned down by an invisible weight. The darkness felt thicker than usual, as if it had a presence. My room was silent, except for the faint hum of the fan. But then, I saw the figure in the corner. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light, a shadow cast by some forgotten object. But as my eyes adjusted, I realized it wasn't a shadow at all. It was a man or something shaped like a man. He stood perfectly still, impossibly tall, his head nearly brushing the ceiling. His outline was wrong, blurred, like he didn't fully belong in this reality. His face, or what I think was his face, was obscured by darkness except for his eyes. They gleamed, pale and reflective like a predator's. I wanted to scream, but my body wouldn't obey. The silence pressed against my ears, deafening, until he moved. Slowly, deliberately, he tilted his head, as if studying me. My heart slammed against my ribs, and I felt the sting of tears streaming down my temples. He didn't walk. He slid. One moment, he was in the corner, and the next, he was at the foot of my bed, towering over me. I could see him more clearly now. His limbs were too long, his fingers ending in razor-sharp points that tapped against my mattress. "You see me," he rasped, his voice a guttural growl that didn't sound human. His mouth stretched wide, revealing rows of jagged, broken teeth. I tried to look away, to close my eyes, but I couldn't. He leaned closer, the scent of decay rolling off him in waves. "You can't move," he hissed, his face inches from mine. "But I can." His hand reached out, his fingers grazing my cheek. It felt like ice seeping into my skin. Then, just as quickly as he appeared, he was gone. The weight lifted, my body jolting upright as I gasped for air. The corner was empty now, but I couldn't shake the feeling that he was still there, just beyond the edges of the darkness, waiting for the next time I'd see him. Here is the third story. Trapped in the dark. I wake up, but something is wrong. My body is heavy, trapped. I try to move, but nothing responds. My arms, my legs, even my fingers feel like they don't belong to me anymore. Panic creeps in. I try to scream, but my lips won't part. My breath feels shallow, controlled, as if something else is deciding how much air I get. Then I see it. In the corner of my room, just beyond the weak glow of my nightlight, a shadow shift. My stomach clenches. At first, I tell myself it's nothing, just my eyes adjusting, but no, it's real. It's watching me. A twisted, hunched figure, darker than the room itself. It twitches just slightly, then begins to move. Slow, unnatural, like it's dragging itself forward with invisible strings. I want to close my eyes, I want to look away, but I can't. The air turns thick as it reaches the foot of my bed. My heart pounds so hard I think it might burst, but I still can't move. I can't even breathe properly. My chest feels tight, pressed down like something is pushing me into the mattress. Then it speaks. You let me in. You let me in. A whisper so close it sends a cold shiver down my spine. I feel something long, bony fingers pressing into my chest, growing heavier. I can't take it. I need to move. I need to move. I fight, clawing at the invisible chains, locking me in place. My body won't listen. My mind is screaming, but my voice is lost in the void. The thing leans closer. I can't see a face. Just endless darkness where one should be. Its breathing now slow and ragged. No. I force everything I have into one desperate breath. A gasp rips from my throat, sharp, broken. The second the sound leaves my lips, the figure recoils, dissolving into the shadows like smoke. I lurch forward, free at last, gasping for air. My body trembles as I clutch my chest, trying to convince myself it's over. But the room feels different now. The corner is empty again, yet I know it's still there. Waiting for the next time I wake up and can't move.